Hey guys, and welcome to our live stream. Tonight we are going to be talking about tips and advice for college for you guys. Since it is a live stream, I will be taking your guys' questions out of the comments section and responding to them. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I appreciate having you here. A little background on me. I do Call of Duty commentaries. I've been doing Grand Theft Auto live streams, Minecraft Let's Plays. I do a lot of gaming content and also a little bit music content, including like guitar stuff, guitar covers and whatnot. Let's go ahead and open up the watch page so I can look at your guys' comments. And there we go. So I am going to, like I said, I'm going to be taking your questions, but first things first, about the gameplay. I'm not going to be actually talking about the gameplay that much, and I am going to be talking over the dialogue in the gameplay. This is more about the topic, about college, than it is about the actual gameplay, but I will be playing GTA V. This is just continuing on right where my last live stream left off. We're going to be doing the submarine heist, I think. That's what we're gearing up for. But I might do some subquests along the way. And about me. I am... Oh, that's not what I wanted. I am a college student right now. I'm graduating this December. And in two majors. I've got a political science degree and a criminology degree. So I'm graduating. It will have been 3.5 years when I graduate with 2 degrees, 2 majors. And
you bet it's okay.
So where is our... Oh, hi Zach. Please leave your guys' questions and I'll get right to them as soon as I see them.
Oh yeah. Oh,
you're on the wrong account. So I guess since there's no questions on yet, since we're still waiting for people to pile in, I just want to talk about, before we start talking too much about college, I want to talk a little bit about high school and your other options besides college. So you don't have to go to college. I mean, I think that's a given. A lot of times people's parents expect them to go to college, or, you know, it's maybe expected of them by their school or whatever, but it's not a requirement. That said, it can't hurt you. If you are planning on going into the work world and having a career, going to college is not going to hurt you. I mean, it's possible that you could rack up some debt, and we'll talk about paying for school a little bit later, but going to college is just generally a good idea. It is true that college educations are becoming worth less while they're still costing more. The value of the education might not be there anymore, at least what it used to be, but it's still a good idea to go to college. If you can't afford to go to college, or maybe you had bad grades in high school, community college is always an option. And even though, you know, a lot of times people will, you know, snicker or look down on community college or junior colleges or whatever. Why did I not take a Porsche? That's not it at all. I mean, even if you go to a community college, you're still bettering yourself. You're still increasing your chances for higher wages in the future. And actually, I would probably argue that a community college is a better value for your education. Let's shut off our music. Oh, so about high school. A lot of you guys are in high school. Some of you are younger in high school, and if you are, that is a-okay. But the younger you are, the more opportunity you have to set yourself up nicely for college. I would say anyone pretty much can go to college. If you feel like you're not very smart, maybe like you're not cut out for college, except for in some extreme cases where you might have a learning disability, pretty much anyone who can be a B student or a C student in high school. Like, if you're trying in high school and you can get B's and C's, you can do the same in college. It's nothing that's out of reach for anyone that is at least of average intelligence. And I don't mean to, like, that sounds kind of weird, like, but it's true that there are some people, I've known some people actually in college where they work really hard, they work twice as hard as everyone else I know at it, but something in their brain just isn't wired for it. They can't remember stuff for tests, they have a hard time reading quickly, stuff like that, and you know, they just couldn't make it. But that was because of learning disabilities, not because of anything else. So, assuming you don't have a learning disability, you can likely make it in college and succeed at college. It's not nearly as daunting as everyone makes it sound. And by setting yourself up nicely in high school, you can really make the experience a lot better. First off, just get good grades in high school. I know it like seems lame and it's sucky, and, you know, who wants to do the homework in your Spanish class, or, you know, I forgot my uniform for gym and he docked me points and now I'm going to get a B. But just take care of your stuff. If you just take care of your stuff in high school, get good grades, it'll make it easy to get into college, and it'll also make it so that you have the possibility of getting scholarships later down the line. Which is, again, we'll talk about that when we talk about finance a little bit later. So do well in high school. And along with that, if you feel like you are a, perhaps, like, above average student, take some AP classes. Maybe just start off with 1 or 2 if your school offers it, but try to take some AP classes. I know for me, the AP classes set me up really nicely because... Oh, and if you take an AP class, take the test. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. But if you can take some AP classes and pass out of... or pass the tests at the end of the year and get good scores on the tests, then you can really make your college life a lot cheaper and a lot easier. When I came into college, like, not sound braggy, a lot of my friends were like this actually. We took a lot of AP classes, and they were a little bit harder than your normal high school classes. But by taking the test and doing okay on it, we allowed ourselves to actually be done with freshman year of college before we even entered college, just because we had all those transfer credits from AP. So get good grades, take AP classes if you can, and don't feel discouraged. If you feel like you've gotten some D's and C's in high school, especially if you're younger, it's not too late to hop on it, get some good grades going, and get into college. Even if you have to go to community college for a year as a transition, it's not really a big deal. Sorry, I'm distracted by Trevor choking this guy. So, do good in high school. It sucks, but everyone has to go through it. And honestly, it's one of those things that you'll never regret doing well in high school, but you may regret... You won't necessarily regret doing badly in high school, but you may regret it later if you decide that you have some higher professional aspirations than you maybe thought you would have when you were in high school. Alright, so let's look at the questions now that some of you guys are in here. How do you get bitches at college? Well, I'm not a pro. Let me get my mic away. I'm not a pro at getting girls. Well, or maybe I am. Depends on how you define it. Me and my girlfriend, if you guys watch Couplecraft or any of our dual comms that we've done, me and my girlfriend actually met the week that school started. Or actually the week before classes started. We met at orientation week. We started dating, and we've been together for over 3 years now. I didn't even date anyone else in college just because I met her. We got really into our relationship. We're both so happy together that we just kept going with it. But I will say, freshman year of college has got to be the easiest time to get girls ever. Like you think it's rough in high school or whatever, but for some reason, freshman girls in college have this thing wired in their head where they're just like expecting to go party and wear their short dresses and just have a good time. And they're not around their high school friends, so they're not worried about how they'll look if they're talking with someone that, you know, was maybe in the wrong group in high school or whatever. That just is gone when you enter college. So if you just come in with your head held high, it seriously got rid of my car when I talked to them. That's lame. But if you come in with your head held high and you have some confidence, it's just have some confidence and you will not have problems getting girls. That's all it takes, quite honestly. Girls, freshman year, especially at the beginning of freshman year, the first quarter or so, and I'm not just talking about girls. Girls are really easy to get along with, but even it's really easy to make new guy friends. It's just easy to make friends your first several weeks of college because everyone's open-minded, ready to go. So as long as you're confident and you're being a nice person, you're being open, then you will have no problems at all making friends. Or getting girls, as it may be. Mike Raz is in here asking some of these questions, but I know he's in college. Okay. Who is the first person you think of when you wake up in the morning? Well, I think that... Oh, gosh, I don't know. Depends on the day. You know, recently it's been Michael and Trevor and Franklin. So I've been playing way too much GTA. But that's... What am I doing? I don't even know what quest I'm on right now. Ask some questions about college. I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I just kind of have a list of stuff that I wanted to talk about here, and I'm just gonna keep going down it, unless you guys have other questions. So, and if you're watching this, I guess how far in are we? 9 minutes in. if you're watching this and you see the little timeline at the bottom of your thing says that this is a 2-hour stream or something, don't worry, we are going to be doing most of the college talk right up front in the first half hour to an hour. I might even end the stream after that. But all of the info about college is going to be front-loaded. Later on is just going to be gameplay stuff. So keep that in mind if you're here. Don't get discouraged by the big timeline. What am I don't even know what I'm doing. How do I check my mission? I'm not on a mission? Okay, well then what are these orange circly dealies? So I guess the next thing I was going to talk about is dorms. When you go to college, most places make you stay in the dorms. And dorms are a weird one because they are the worst deal. I gotta turn this down. I'm just getting distracted by the gameplay. They're like the worst deal in housing that you could ever imagine. You basically are getting a small hotel room with 2 beds, 2 desks, and that's it. For like $1,500 to $2,000 a month between the 2 of you. Some places you share a bathroom between 4 people. Sometimes you share a bathroom between a whole floor, and it's like a communal bathroom. Sometimes, like my dorm that I was in, we had 1 bathroom just for the 2 of us, so it was literally like a hotel room. Just a couple beds, a couple desks, a bathroom. That's it. What am I doing? Oh, I guess I'm supposed to fight this guy? Okay. Fuck this gold tooth? Alright. And dorm life's a little bit weird because you'll have an RA who's gonna be somebody that's like overly peppy, like it's ooh, motorcycle. We got to shoot him off of this. Oh god, no! Don't auto-aim me. There we go. But you're gonna be living literally in the same room as this person for 10 months, and you don't know them from a hole in the wall. And you have to be able to get along with them. Sometimes they'll be your best friend. Sometimes they're just gonna be a pain in your ass. It depends on who you get. Oh my! Oh, maybe the motorcycle wasn't the best idea. Alright, I'll get to that question in just a second. You basically, when you're in the dorms, you eat at a... Oh, and for the people who are watching this overseas, I'm not sure if any of this will apply to university for you guys. This is mostly talking about United States colleges. Not even private colleges, I'm not sure. Depends on the private college you go to. But I'm talking state institutions. If you're at, you know, Oregon State University or University of Colorado or Florida State or wherever you're at, those are the kind of schools I'm talking about. Oh, sweet. Is this a motorcycle? Try it again! You're gonna live with this person. You're gonna probably only have 1 fridge between the 2 of you, 1 TV between the 2 of you. If he wants to go to bed at 1 o'clock, and you have a 8 o'clock class, and you want to go to bed at 9, well, that means he's gonna be waking you up, and vice versa. So, it really is a, like, training ground for learning to live with other people, because most people, by the time you're 18, you've lived with your family your whole time, and that's all good and dandy, but family dynamics are a lot different than living with a stranger. Can you imagine just picking a random person out of one of your high school classes, and you don't even pick it most of the time in the dorms? They just say in your English class, just imagine someone random comes in and says, alright, you and John are paired up, and you and John have only talked once before, and now you guys have to live together and sleep 5 feet from each other, and just do practically everything in the same room. You want to have a girl over? Well, you got to figure out how to get him out of the room and everything, and you're going to be... It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Honestly, the concept is crazy. But that's one of the scariest things, but potentially one of the best things about college, is that a lot of people met their best friend, or their girlfriend, or whoever, in their freshman year of college, in the dorms. The dorms really do a good job, I think, of getting you, because you're forced to live so close to all these people, you just have to talk to them, you just have to be around them, and there's no choice otherwise. If you don't get along with your roommate, you can involve the RA and have a little conflict resolution meeting, but you have to live with that. If you want to be a bitch to him and he wants to have a girl over and you don't want to let him because you want to go to bed or whatever, well, you have to choose, do you want to be rested up for class, or do you want to make him mad because you just cock-blocked him? There's all sorts of stuff that'll pop up like that, and if you get a bad roommate, it'll suck. If you get a good roommate, they may be your best friend forever. So that's the dorms kind of in a nutshell. You guys can ask me more questions about that if you are interested. Esteban asks, what's my favorite aspect of college? It's, especially coming off of high school, it's definitely the freedom. So, in high school, even if your parents are pretty open and let you do pretty much whatever you want, there's something completely different about college where everything's on your shoulders. So if you fail a course, or if you stayed up too late, or if you didn't get dinner, or didn't do your laundry, or anything that happens like that is 100% on you. There's no excuses, it's all you. If you want to stay up late because that sounds fun, and you want to stay up till 3 in the morning playing Call of Duty, that's your choice. I mean, nobody's going to stop you at all. Oh boy. Besides, you may have some problems with your roommate. Nobody's going to say 2 words to you about it. But, what the f... Seriously? I'm going to die again. Oh, here I am. I'm just driving around randomly. I don't even know what mission I'm on. Sock on the door. Yeah. Okay, so that's like a big joke that people see in TV and stuff is, oh yeah, you put a sock on the door and then your roommate knows not to come in because you got a girl in there and you're getting down to business. Well, the problem with that is imagine this, is that you are coming home from class, and sometimes classes are a little bit later. Maybe, like I've got a class right now that goes till 6 at night. Well, the problem with that is, so you have a class that goes till 6 at night, and maybe he just had dinner with a girl and brought her home. Okay, well, guess what now? Now, you needed to go into your room to change, or because maybe you came from the gym, say, or maybe you wanted to get your homework out of there and you left a book in your room. Alright, it looks like we're probably back in business. Sorry about that, guys. That's an aspect of college life, is dealing with their internet, which makes you log in from time to time. So it kicked me off. But we're back. We're good. Oh boy. So, sock on the door thing. Like, I know Bandigan was joking about that. Oh, they shot my tire out. I just got this car. He's probably joking about that. But I was saying that, so say you come home and you have homework, or you need to get your study materials because you have an exam the next morning, and he's got a sock on the door. Well, it's kind of like, well, how often... I'm gonna, like, literally, every possession you have is in that room. So now I'm locked out. I can't play Call of Duty. I can't get my notes for class. I can't do anything until my roommate's done with that girl. Like, it almost becomes a ridiculous thing where you need to have... That's why you need to have good communication with your roommate, is you don't want to find a sock on the door when you had plans for the night, because maybe you had other plans for the night. Maybe you were going to bring a girl home. Say that you're both players and you're going to both wanting to bring girls home. Well, most girls aren't cool with with having y'all in there unless you're going to just be hanging out casually. So, keep that in mind. Always be courteous. If you're courteous to your roommate will usually be courteous to you in exchange. Get a new car. So keep that in mind. I know he was just joking about the sock on the door thing, but honestly, it's a joke, but it happened on my hall all the time. It didn't happen with my roommate because he didn't ever date, but I'll talk about his story here in a little while, because I think it is something that might be interesting to some of you, because I do know some people over Xbox Live who might have a similar situation to what he had. Let's go down to the highway. Alright.
Guess
what do you think is the best way to stay focused in college and not get distracted by parties and games? That was actually one topic I had in mind that I was going to get to later, so we can just skip straight to it now. Kyle, yeah, that's what I was trying to avoid saying, was 4-way. But, what was I going to say? Oh, he asked, what's the best way to stay focused and not get distracted by parties and games? A lot of people do get distracted by parties and games, and that was actually what I was just talking about with my roommate. My roommate was a big gamer. He was really into Reddit. He played a lot of... he's the one that introduced me to Minecraft when it was in alpha. We played a lot of games together, we hung out, but he had a problem that was not academic. I think probably for all practical purposes, he was smarter than I am. If you were to just give him an IQ test, he was probably smarter than I was. And yet he dropped out in the second semester of college. I just started noticing that he never leaves the room. Like, he can't be going to class because he's here at all hours of the day. No matter when I come in my room, he's here. And I'm going to try to make it as anonymous as possible because I don't talk to him anymore, but I want to keep his identity private just for his sake. Not like there's a lot of people watching this, but what ended up happening, he kept it all from me. Motorcycle. He kept it all from me, but what was basically happening was that he just couldn't cope with being away from home. He was so used to living at home and being with his family and having somebody to tell him, you know, it's time to do homework and stuff like that, that when it came time for him to be the one to be responsible to go to class and do his homework, he just didn't cope with it. He just would say, well, I can sit here and do Reddit and play Minecraft, or I can go to class and study reptiles or whatever. And a lot of the times, he made the wrong choice until it got to the point where about 3 weeks before school was over, he was forced to drop out because he was failing every class, and he had to head home. So that was unfortunate. But I see a lot of people that are like that. And so you were asking the best way to not get distracted. Honestly, the number one tip that if you guys go to college, the number one tip I can give you guys out of this whole thing is just go to class. So it's an option to go to class, honestly. Sometimes professors will take attendance, but honestly, if you don't go, nobody's going to say anything to you. It's just you lose a couple points. You just need to be responsible for yourself to go to class. Even if you're not going to take notes, even if you don't care about the class, even if you're not going to do the readings, just sit and go to class every time. Go to every class every time, assuming you're not sick or something. If you can go to every class every time and not just get used to skipping class because it's really convenient and you know the professor's kind of a pushover and that somebody can email you the notes, and because that's what you always hear, especially freshman year, you always hear it is, oh, well, can I get the notes from you because I was out partying so I was hungover so I couldn't go to class. And so someone will email them the notes, but then what inevitably starts happening is that happens more and more, and they're getting emailed the notes so they have some notes to study, but they are not studying them well enough. They're missing stuff because they're trusting that person's note-taking skills. Honestly, just go to class every time. Even if you're going to sit there and be on Facebook, just sit there and just let yourself kind of absorb the information a little bit just by being there in the atmosphere. If you do that, and you put in a reasonable effort outside, it's hard to fail. It really is. Just go to class every time, and when you do that, it kind of almost makes you feel... It makes you feel more a part of your classes than if you're not going. Oh, if you're wondering where I am driving, guys, I'm heading up to probably that C question mark. I don't know. Let's look at the map. Oh, maybe I'll go to the H since that's close by. But just go to class. It makes it a lot easier to be successful, and you'll just get in the habit of it. If you get in the habit of going, like right now, when you wake up, you probably don't think of it as an option to go to English class. Just like, wait, where did I just miss the checkpoint? Oh, it's behind me. So confused. If you wake up, you don't think, should I go to English class or not? But once you're in college, that starts to become an option. And it starts to be something that really drags people down. The only people I've seen fail college, it wasn't because they were too dumb. It was just because they weren't putting in the effort. They weren't going to class. They weren't doing readings. And that's it. That's like 100% of the reason they fail. Is they get too involved with parties and everything else, and they don't go to class. So just go to class, and you have a very good chance to be successful in college, unless you have some major disability. Well then, that's interesting band again. But yeah, just go to class. That's the plain and simple of it. In my hall, the kids that went to class all were getting A's, and then the kids that didn't go to class were all like sitting here, gosh, this class is so hard. Why can't I get a good grade in this class? Oh my god, the professor is such a bitch. And they would just complain all the time. And they would come to class, and the only thing they would ever do in class when they did come would be talk about last night's party and talk about how the professor was such an a-hole. That's literally all that would ever happen. And then the other 2/3 of the time, they just wouldn't be in class at all. So they never they never learned anything, they never got anything out of it. And that made it hard for them to pass tests, that made it so they got bad grades, and a lot of those people are the people that drop out in the first year. So if you can get your own self-discipline down to say, hey, Saturday's laundry day, I'm going to do laundry every Saturday, and hey, you know, I need to study because I've got a test coming up, and you know, it sounds really fun because someone's having a little party in their dorm room, and there's going to be girls there, there's going to be alcohol or whatever, and we're just going to hang out and watch movies or any of that stuff. And it's like, it's hard to say no sometimes because everyone's standing around being like, oh, are you coming? And you want to say yes. But sometimes you just have to say no to that kind of stuff and go to class and study. It doesn't take that much. Just go to class and study a little bit. That's the #1 thing I want you guys to get out of this. Okay, Esmon, take it easy. Alright, Alpha, believe that. Internet's giving me about 2-minute lag, but anyways, I'll probably hear this, but I'm going to be going to college next year, and I'm going in for a teaching degree, 4 years, and want to know, does college feel as long as high school? Well, for me, it feels like, honestly, I'm talking to you guys, I'm a college senior, I'm graduating in December. How am I supposed to get in here? It feels like I just started college. Like, I feel like I'm a year and a half in. You end up having so much fun and so many new experiences with all of the, like, social stuff that you hadn't had before, and living on your own, and whatever else, that you don't really think about school as much. It just kind of goes by in a blink of the eye. It doesn't feel as long as high school. You still get senioritis in your senior year, and all that stuff will happen, but it doesn't feel as long unless you make it long. Some people do take a full 4.5 years to 5 years to finish, and I imagine that one probably does feel long if you do it like that. You think I'll live if I go in here in this? Probably not. I think I can take this guy out silent style. They look at me. So it doesn't feel long. Like, honestly, and it's actually a little bit fun because you said you want to go into teaching or whatever. Well, that's all you're going to be doing. So it's not like you're feeling bored because I'm never going to use this again, and who even cares about where Yemen is on a map? You know? That's not how it is when you're in college, because when you're in college, you're studying exactly what you wanted to be studying. You came in for teaching, and that's exactly what you're going to study. No more, no less. Can I steal this tank? Please, 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 please. Pretty please? Pretty please with cherries on top? Pretty please? Okay, probably not. I'm dead. It doesn't feel long because you're studying exactly what you want to be studying. And even though it's still school and it's still work and you're still learning, it doesn't feel like seriously gym class and seriously health class and history. It's like, if you like English, that's all you're taking. Right now, I'm taking criminal investigations and, well, Mexican politics isn't super fun, but you are only studying things that are generally in your field of interest. So, that guy's ADSing me.
Sir, leave the area.
Oh, okay.
This is for authorized.
See if I can get in a collateral position here.
I'm not going to say.
You're not gonna say what again? Oh, come on! Why did you jump it up there? That sucked. I was already pre-aimed on him. Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna move. Not go in here yet because we're in trouble. Oh wow, we're 4-star. We're just gonna die. Anyhow, it doesn't feel long because you're studying what you want to be studying, which is great. Like, it honestly is. I should probably steal one of these if I want to not die. I've never been in here successfully before, so... Any more questions? Otherwise, I can just keep talking. I do enjoy talking with you guys. Okay. Now that he took a day and a half to hotwire this. Okay, where are we headed? We're here to steal something that I don't even know. Where am I going? Oh. What was that jump you just did? That was the worst thing I've ever seen. Get over that fence right now. I'm gonna focus on the game just for a second so I can get out of here without dying, hopefully. Fly, 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 fly. Please, please, pretty please. This one you do have to control the tail rotor. Lose the military chopper. Can I fire at him? Alright. Wow, so we did that. I'm flying like a crazy person because I'm watching the chat box as best as possible. Where are we headed to? Way over there. I'm gonna avoid the military airspace. Let's see. Okay. What other things was I gonna talk about? I already talked about dorms. Classes. You just should go to your classes. Your freshman year is usually your introductory year where you are going to be learning a little bit. It'll be more like high school than it is like college. It'll be, oh, I have to take English and history. I feel like my talking funny.
Michael really better get those lessons.
You have to take history and English and whatever else, and it is kind of a pain. But it does prepare you, but at the same time, you're going to take probably some of your favorite classes ever, because if you want to go into psychology, you're taking Psych 101.
Add it to the list and I'll tell you when we
and it feels like it's eye-opening your first year, because you want to go into psychology, say, and you take Psych 101. It's just like, this is everything I've been dreaming about. This is like everything I wanted to learn. If you're doing engineering or programming, well, it's going to be all about engineering and programming. You're going to take, you know, Circuits 101 or whatever you're going to be into. And it's a fun time, but you will have to do some classes that are not so fun. AP classes in high school can get you out of that a little bit, but your second year, your sophomore year, is really where you start getting into your core of your major, and that's a lot of fun. So you'll have a lot of different classes, you'll have a lot of different professors. Unlike high school, here's another thing about grades in college that you should just be aware of. It's not a huge deal, but it's just something to be aware of, is in high school you probably get attendance points or participation points or something. Wow, I can't fly this thing very well. And then you're going to have homework assignments every week or something like that, usually. But when you're in college, not so. That's not the case. In college, most classes have 3 grades the whole semester. You will have a midterm, a final, and a term paper. And so it's like crazy because you get 3 grades. So if you mess up on one, it feels like you're going to get a horrible grade in the class. And that's a little rough. So you got to be responsible for those assignments. Helicopters. Okay, cool. What am I doing? First off, for I'm Banned Again, one thing you'll notice when you go to college, there will be more beautiful women than you've ever seen in your life. Like, it's almost ridiculous that you'll go to class, and especially freshman year, all the girls are dressing up pretty. It's like, who's this red dot that's all mad at me? Especially freshman year, it's just gonna be like crazy attractive women everywhere. It's almost like it's like cliche, like almost in the movies. At least where I'm at. Maybe not where you're at, but where I'm at, it's weird because it feels like there's more pretty women here than there should be. But that said, more of them are crazy than you would expect, and you got to be careful with them because you never know what they're willing to do. So be careful with the women. Some of them get crazy. Some of them are hot. You just gotta play your cards right. Play it safe. Use protection if you're getting into that kind of thing. What AP classes did I take? Wow. I took every one that my school offered except for like AP Biology and AP Government. I took AP Human Geography, AP Lit, AP Language, AP Physics, AP Calculus, and 1 or 2 others, I think. And it ended up, so if you guys don't know how college works, you take about 120 credits to graduate. So that means that every year you're taking 30 credits, every semester you're taking 15. At least that's the average. So you'll be taking 15 credits, which amounts to about 5 classes every semester. But the way that my AP credits worked out, I ended up testing out of 29 credits, which means that I didn't have to take a full year of classes, which meant that instead of taking 5 classes a semester, I could take 4 classes a semester and still graduate early. So if you play it right, I'm gonna fall straight out of the sky. If you play it right, you can really set yourself up nice, take a light load, and it saves money. AP classes seem expensive. Oh. Uh-oh. This is about to go really wrong. Thank you for helping me stop. It seems like AP classes are expensive. To take the test is like 200 bucks or something, right? Something ridiculous. But when you get in there, it's not as bad as you would think, because in college a course is like $3,000-ish maybe. And so if you can save yourself a year of that, that's like $20,000. So you can save $20,000 by taking AP classes up front, which is great. Do it if you can handle the workload, for sure. Some people can't. That's fine. So, you know, some people just work at different paces, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just do what you can handle, but, you know, not slacking in high school can pay off. We're gonna buy some stuff. So yeah, I took all those. I ended up with 29 credits. I ended up testing out my entire freshman year, except for one class. I had to take archaeology, and it was not very fun. But that meant that as a second-year student, I was already taking senior-level classes occasionally. Sometimes junior, sometimes senior-level classes. So, and that's not because, oh, look at Mr. Smarty Pants. It's just because I did some extra work in high school. And it's nothing that you can't do, too, if your school offers it. Unfortunately, not all schools offer... not all schools offer AP classes, at least not as many as my school did. Some do, some don't. That's really different place to place. Wow, this is a lot of stuff that we were trying to buy. I don't even have enough money? Ooh, that's embarrassing. So, what AP Physics and Calc did you take? I think it was AP Physics AB, is that what it was called? I don't know. I don't remember, because that was 5 years ago. It was whatever the first AP Physics class is. I think it's AB, which actually tested me out of 9 credits in college. Oh, that's on fire. I'm not sure I want to be next to that. We're going to go over to the C with the question mark now. And what? Okay, calculus, whatever the lowest level of AP Calc is. I don't remember. What happened was my school, I took it junior year, I took AP Calc. And then senior year, I didn't even have a math class to take because my school didn't offer anything else. So that's as high as I got, and I haven't taken a math class since because it tested me out for college. I took my last math class junior year of high school and haven't looked back. So again, just by doing a little bit of extra work in high school, you can set yourself up nice. Go to class in college. That'll make it a lot easier to get good grades. Learn to say no. You know, people are going to be asking you to go to parties. People are going to be asking you to hang out in a dorm room and whatever else, stay up late. Sometimes, it's, you know, just say no. It seems embarrassing at the time, but nobody really thinks twice about it.
Get out of the way!
Physics. Oh, okay. I took Physics B, I think it was, not Physics C, and I took Calc AB.
There you are.
So yeah, that's what I took, and a lot of places offer those courses. They're pretty common. But what other things were we going to talk about? Keep asking questions. I'm going to keep. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to mention early on. Even if you're watching this and have questions in your mind and you're not watching it live, post your questions. I will respond to all the text comments even after it's over. So make sure to post those questions.
What is
I have written here self-esteem. When you go to college, even if you go to a college that's in your hometown, 90% of the people will not know you. You are essentially whoever you want to be, which doesn't mean, I don't mean go be fake or anything, but this is an opportunity for you to forget all of the things that you ever did that might have been embarrassing, or, you know, Jennifer that turned you down to the junior prom. Nobody even knows that happened in college. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares, even if they did know. So all that matters is how you act now. So when you go in freshman year, you have every opportunity to just sit in your room all the time. Like, you can sit in your room all day, every day, playing Call of Duty. You'll hit Master Prestige in the next game in a week if you want to. But, what? Oh. Yeah, hunt an elk. Cool. So, you have every opportunity to just sit there and just do nothing all day, every day. And that will mean that you can play as much COD as you want, or as much GTA as you want, but you are going to be missing out on all of the fun college experiences. If you just, all it takes is get out and walk around a little bit. If you just walk around, walk up and down your hall a little bit, there will be stuff to do, and people will get you in on it, because everyone's eager to make new friends right away at freshman year.
That's a diaphragm. Mm-hmm. And elk for you and me. All right.
What else?
Give it a good blow.
Oh, and so since you can be basically be the best version of yourself, right? So by being self-confident and having high self-esteem, just keeping your head high, you can really have a lot easier time making friends, and it'll make it a lot, I don't know, just make it a lot easier on you. Don't be so shy. I know that your high school self might be shy, and that's fine. You don't have to be that anymore. I mean, in college, you can be whatever you want. So just, there's clubs for anything you would want. There's fraternities if you're into that. You can find people to hang out with, and you should. The more you sit at home, the less success you're going to have socially, with women, and in school. Okay, talk to us about the food. Alright, food. The food, at least where I was at, was one of the, best and worst things. That seems how, everything in college is it's, the best and worst. It was delicious where I was at. I know they always talk poorly about dorm food, but mine was delicious. It was if you guys have ever been to Mongolian Grill, where you just get noodles and whatever toppings you want, and they cook it up on a grill. We had that. We had hamburgers, cheeseburgers, fries anytime you wanted, pizza anytime you wanted, sandwiches anytime you wanted, ice cream anytime you wanted. It was delicious. But the trade-off is you had to pay for it when you were in the dorms. I'm not sure that's the same for everyone. It may not be, but in my college, you have to buy the meal plan with the dorm. And the problem with that is they are a terrible ripoff. It was $10 a meal. How do I make the whistle go again? I forgot how to make the whistle. I don't remember. What am I doing? I don't remember how to... B? X? Oh, jeez, I don't remember. Anyways, it was the best and worst because it was expensive. You had to buy it at $10 a meal, and they even have raised it since then. That's ludicrous. That's like going out for a fancy dinner every meal. That means breakfast, you're paying $10 a meal. Lunch, $10 a meal. You can choose to buy less or more depending on how you want to do. Most of us did 2 meals a day. But that's expensive. But at the same time, you don't have a kitchen, so it's hard to prepare food for yourself. What am I looking at? Was that one? Guess so. The other downside with it, if you don't have self-control with food, forget the freshman 15. try like the Freshman 20. You can get soft serve ice cream after lunch and then after dinner, and you can put hot fudge on it. And you can then eat pizza and French fries and then have soft serve on the side. And what am I supposed to do? I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Hit it? Tenderize it? What am I doing? Yeah, so people gain weight a lot. So you're gonna have to... Oh, photograph the corpse? How do I get out the camera? Is that in here? Oh, it's in the photo app. Derp. So if you don't have self-control with your food, it is really easy to gain weight and be unhealthy. And that's like haha funny at first, and everyone loves it, and we all eat junk food, and you can go get smoothies at 11 o'clock at night. You can do whatever you want, but the problem it becomes, they're like, it's fun for a quarter, and then about a semester in, some people start to physically just start gaining weight big time because you're not exercising, you're probably not doing your high school sports that you were once doing, and you're eating a lot of bad food. So you do have to be careful with that, but it is delicious. So if you can either have a lot of fun or be really fat, you know, it's up to you.
So this is what I'm thinking.
I sent it to him.
All this demand for wild raised meat with them city folks right now.
Yeah, the
if
food.
we divide and conquer, I reckon
it's pretty
we can
tasty.
make
I'm not gonna lie. Like we would
little
go,
sideline.
and depending on which dorm you went to get food, like at mine, you could go to the Mongolian Grill and get that, and then you could go get, you know, wings if you want wings. Were there, and you just like you don't. It's not like you pay or anything. It's like you just walk in, scan your ID, and you eat anything you want as much as you want. So you just walk in. I'll just have this basket of fries and this hamburger and some ice cream. Oh, and here's some wings, and it just you can really gain weight, and you know that's it is funny at first, and it becomes not funny real quick once people start feeling like crap. Because honestly, if you eat junk food, like it's not to sound like your mother, but if you eat junk food often enough and without eating anything healthy, you will start to just feel bad all the time. Oh boy, they're gonna hit me. You just won't feel good, and then once you're not feeling good, that sucks. And then when you're gaining weight, that sucks even more. So be careful with that. And what else was I gonna say to you guys? What do we have down here? Oh, I was gonna talk a little bit about fraternities and clubs. So fraternities are a little bit different, I imagine, depending on where you go to school. But they are generally like a club, where they are a group of people that do, you know, some activity. Sometimes they're scholarly based, where this is the political science fraternity. Sometimes they're just, I want to have fun based. And they can be a blessing or a curse. Some of them have fraternity homes where everyone lives together in the same home. And that can be bad news, because it is a little bit like you see in the movies, where these guys are partying all the time. They are the kind of people that tend to never say no. So while you can have success in a fraternity, be careful, because some of the people that join fraternities allow the fraternity to kind of take over their life. And if you're only in it to just party through freshman year and your daddy's paying and who cares anyways, I suppose that's fine. But if you're actually in it to get a degree and go on to get a good job, be careful with fraternities. They can be a distraction to college more than they would ever help you. So then for clubs, most schools have any club you would ever want, and then some that you never even thought would have existed. So if you want, like I'm in Colorado, we have a skiing and snowboarding club. If you're Buddhist, we have a meditation club for Buddhist kids. If you're Mexican, we literally have or not just Mexican, but more just Latino or whatever.
I gotta get my
Oh, sorry about that. If you're Latino, we have a, you know, Central American club, basically, where people just hang out, and it's just people that are around like-minded people, I guess. And you can join intramural sports, which is where you might maybe play volleyball, and maybe you're okay at volleyball, but you don't want to. You're not like going to be on the volleyball team, or you play. You want to play kickball. I think they have kickball most places. They have frisbee golf. They have ultimate frisbee, stuff like that, where you just play it casually. It's men and women, and you're softball sometimes, and you're just hanging out, having a good time playing sports. A lot of people do those and really do enjoy them. It's a good way to get involved socially and also get some exercise. I need to go all the way around this lake, don't I? I'm just like so distracted talking that I'm driving around randomly. So you wanted me to tell you about the roommate. So he was kind of a, I think I already talked about it a little bit, so sorry if this gets a little bit repetitive. He was a smart kid. I think he maybe was like, he seemed like he was maybe mildly autistic, I'm not sure, where he was just, we boot up an old game on PS2 because I brought my PS2 just for fun, and where am I going? To the road. And so we'd bring up those old games, and he would remember cheat codes to the games like nobody's business, and he'd remember all the spots and everything else. And I'm like, I beat this game 2 or 3 times, and I don't remember that stuff. So I think he was maybe mildly autistic, which, if you don't know, sometimes autistic people, like, they get focused on one thing, and they get really into it, and they remember it, and they're really smart at it and everything else, but sometimes they have trouble socially, and sometimes they have troubles with stuff that they are not interested in. So maybe if... Come back here. Oh god! Another one? Okay. But I think he was maybe mildly autistic. That's besides the point. He never really got active socially. Even during early on in the year, he never really would leave the room that much to hang out with people. He enjoyed hanging out with me, but I was always with my girlfriend. So he kind of felt left out in that respect because I was hanging out with my girlfriend and he was always the third wheel. And so he never really felt cool with that, I don't think. And since he never went out of the room to really make friends of his own that were interested in the same things he was, he just never really made that many close friends. He never went on dates because he didn't really put himself out there. He was doing good in school the first semester, but after a while it was like he just didn't do laundry. And he would do laundry like after wearing his shirts twice or whatever. And he finally would do his laundry, and that was all fine. And then after a while, he just stopped going to class. He just lost his like motivation in himself, I guess, where he wouldn't, when he said, should I go to my chemistry class or the lab or whatever, he would just be like, no, I don't oh gosh, I guess that is solid. He would just be like, no, I don't feel like it today, I'd rather just sit here on Reddit. And he just was basically in a depression. And also being autistic a little bit, it seemed like he just never had the social skills to pull himself out of it. And you know, we all tried to like hang out with him and help him out a little bit, but it wasn't even, I think I'm attributing too much of it to I think he was autistic, but it wasn't even just that. It was that he just never left the room and he never gave himself the opportunity to have good times. So you need to give yourself the opportunity to have good times by putting yourself out there, talking to girls if that's what it means, going to parties if that's what it means, go just hang out with some people in your hall and have a movie night if that's what it means, whatever. You just got to put yourself out there and have some fun. And at least give yourself the opportunity to have fun. And a lot of times, like in college, they plan the lamest shit, honestly. It's like the RAs are usually required to plan events for the dorms. And you'll see posters up there, things like, there'll just be things that are silly, like puppy time or something. It'll literally be they'll just like rent dogs from like get people to bring in their dogs from parts of town, and you literally just get to play with dogs for a half hour. And I didn't go to that one in particular because I'm not an animal person, but there's all sorts of weird stuff like that. It's like, that sounds really lame. But if you just say like, okay, so it sounds really lame to go to this club or to this weird meeting or weird event that's put on by an RA, just say, screw it, just go. Just, what's the worst thing that happens? You wasted a half hour? Well, you had a half hour to burn. So, like, I can remember one of the times we went to, they had a a sexual awareness kind of thing that was teaching you safe sex, and like, but unlike the high school version, it was like they got really more detailed than I expected them to about anal sex and everything else. And a group of some people in my hall, we weren't going because we wanted a sexual education, because, you know, we were just so innocent. It was that we thought this would just be a funny time, and we did the whole putting the condoms on the bananas and everything. We just all had a good laugh and a great time of it. And it sounds really lame, but if you put yourself out there and do those kinds of things, you'll find yourself having fun more often than not. Let me refresh my... Oh, it just popped up. What if he wasn't, and you're calling him autistic, watching right now, planning to kill me? He probably isn't. I think he was, because his mom... I'm assuming autistic, but his mom mentioned at one point to me that he had, like, some... I forgot what she called it, like a learning difference or something. Whatever the politically correct term was that she used. And after just being around him a lot, he kind of exhibited a lot of the classic signs of autism, where he didn't do very well in social situations. He really would become obsessed with one thing and be like really good at that one thing, but never really want to go outside of that. He had a crazy memory when it came to some stuff, just stuff like that that leads me to think that. But he wasn't like Rain Man like crazy. He was like more normal than not. I'd say he was like 90% normal with like a touch of something that, and he was. I don't mean to sound insulting when I say that, because he was really a fun kid to be around. Honestly, like, he was my roommate. He was a lot of fun as a roommate. He was cool to be around, even though he was like, he was a little bit socially awkward, as in he wasn't traditionally like charismatic. But if you would get to know him for 10 minutes, you would like him. He was that kind of kid. I lost what I was saying. Sat next to this girl in math that I helped learn stuff because the professor is confusing. So I could help her with her homework. How do I go about texting her? Honestly, one thing that I found in college that I thought was... So in high school, it was kind of... At least where my school was, might be different from you guys. In high school, it was kind of like you asked a girl out, and that was it. Like, you just asked her out, and now she's your girlfriend, and then maybe you'll go on some dates and go to some dances or whatever. But in college, it's a lot more nebulous, where if you want to go on a date with a girl, where am I going? It's not like, will you be my girlfriend, and now she's your girlfriend and you're hanging out. It's like, hey, you want to go to this event, or you want to go to a concert, or you want to go to a movie, and you just go on a date like adults, and after a couple dates, maybe she becomes your girlfriend, maybe she doesn't, maybe you go your own ways. That's your business. But dating is a lot looser, and one thing I found after talking to some girls is they all seem to want, I mean, obviously I'm overgeneralizing, but they seem to want people to be more assertive. They don't want you to just like pussyfoot around, because there's a dozen other guys that have approached them that weren't doing that. What's happening? Because there will be lots of guys there that'll be hitting on them. Be nice. You don't have to be rude. Don't be a dick, but just be upfront. Be like, hey, can I get your number or whatever?
Sir? For what?
And
the most important fight of all.
You know, just keep it on the up and up. It doesn't have to be a big deal unless you make it. You can say, hey, can I have your number? And then you can call her and be like, hey, you want to go out sometime? You want to go to a movie? You want to go to a concert?
Legalization of
it's literally as simple as that. And to steal a quote from Woody's Gamertag, since you guys probably know I just watch him all the time, you only have to be brave for a second, right? So you just, sometimes it's hard to ask a girl stuff. You want to ask her for digits or whatever, but you only have to be brave for 20 seconds. And then it's done, and then it's out there, and whatever happens, happens. And the worst case is she says no, and most universities are like 10 to 20,000 people. So it's not like your school, which has 1,000 people. It's like way bigger. You'll never see her again if you don't want to.
Yeah, it's a real.
Rayman is a good movie.
That comes from here. Those clowns over there.
Why don't I use waypoints? I don't know, because I'm having fun talking to you guys. But, yeah, dealing with girls like, oh my gosh, kill the clouds? Okay, I'm so confused. Can I actually die?
What if this never wears off?
So he's like regularly on cocaine, but he
Now that.
has a little weed and he can't handle his... Okay. This is pretty trippy.
Fucking clowns can you fit in the van? This is a joke with no punchline.
Pretty weird.
Come on. You're scaring the
Okay.
kids now. I need to stick to math.
Really weird. So yeah, and for the most part, girls are really open about dating and stuff right off the bat. Like, when you're freshman year and you're in the dorms, you'll meet a lot of girls. They'll probably be on your floor or at least in your building. And you can... Why am I... Who's shooting me? I'm so confused. And you'll be able to talk to them and ask them out, and even if you don't want to just right out, like, ask them out right away, you can always just, like, hang out with them. There's lots of opportunities where people will be hanging out together in the dorms, and if you don't want to make it a date, you don't have to. So, just be assertive, you know, you only have to be brave for a second, and then you're good to go. For me, I didn't even play that smooth because it turned out my girlfriend, I don't know, she and I both were just into each other, and so it didn't really get that complicated. But if you're wanting to date around, you're gonna need to be a little bit more assertive. Wow. And I would say don't make it as big of a, like, it doesn't have to be as big of a deal as you would think. Like, girls in college are trying to date just like guys in college are trying to date. It's not just like you're on the hunt. It's like a two-way thing, and a lot of the time they want to be with you as well, or with someone as well. Wow. So weird.
You think I haven't killed a clown before?
I don't even know what's happening. What else we got for questions? Oh, but I was talking about my roommate. Anyways, his problem, I know I mentioned that I thought he might be autistic, but that is honestly irrelevant. I don't even know why I brought it up. Because the real thing was that he never put himself out there, never did anything outside of the room, wouldn't go to class, that sort of stuff. And it really ended up being a detriment to him in the long run, because he started getting depressed because he didn't have that much stuff to do outside of his room. He didn't have like a lot of friends to hang out with or anything because he never put himself out there. And then he stopped going to class because he just generally was feeling depressed, and then started doing bad and then drop out. And it's a bummer, but it's something that he could have avoided, I think, if he would have put himself out there a little bit more and left the room once in a while. Oh, what is... So that, yeah, that was the general point, and he wasn't ready to live on his own. So that's the other thing that people don't really talk about that often, is that one thing that's way different from college to high school is, to me at least, college doesn't... Let me refresh this. College isn't like super difficult. It's not like the classes are super hard or anything. But the reason that people fail is because they can't handle living on their own. And I know you're sitting there thinking, well, crap, if they're gonna feed me in the dining halls, and that's basically all I just have to brush my teeth and go eat in the dining halls, and maybe do a laundry once or twice a week, or every 2 weeks, or whatever it takes. That doesn't seem like it's a big deal. But that's not really what living on your own is about. Living on your own is more about the responsibility that everything, like I said before, everything's on your shoulders. It's not just that you're having to feed yourself or make sure that you're eating right or taking care of yourself. It's that maybe when you're at home, again, it depends on your parents, but maybe when you're at home, your parents say, you know, you can't play that much Call of Duty, you gotta do your homework first. Or maybe you have a bedtime still, or maybe, you know, your curfew's 11 o'clock. Whatever. nobody's gonna think twice if you're out wandering downtown at 1 in the morning. If you want to not go to any of your classes, nobody will care. If you want to not eat, if you want to overeat, if you want to not do your homework, if you want to have whatever, that's all on you. And the people that can't handle that are the people that fail. So one of the things that people do often is they think, oh, I'm at college, I can start drinking. And right away I'm going to say, be careful with that. A lot of colleges have started cracking down on MIPs, and they just... it's a minor possession. That's where you're drinking alcohol and you're not legally allowed, which is 21, I think, across the U.S. Maybe it's 18 in like Wyoming or something, I don't know. But a lot of schools have started cracking down on that. And while it sounds like it'd be a grand old time to go out and party and drink and meet girls and take some random girl back that's just hot and drunk to your room, what ends up happening is, first off, that girl is more likely crazy than not. Those kind of girls that are just out to party they can be a fun time, but they're not always good news. They can make things hard for you. No pun intended. But like that's the problem, is that people won't do their work, their schoolwork. They'll say, well, you know, I'm having this good run of Call of Duty with my friends. I'm just gonna play for another 3 hours. And that's your prerogative, but it means that maybe you didn't get your reading done and now you are gonna fail a quiz or something.
Out of here, bro. You want to make some money? Get a car that's big enough and be a driver. On your knees and stay down till we're
so you gotta have some self-control and learn to take care of yourself a little bit. And sometimes it's harder to say no than you would expect. But that's on you. Some people can do it, some people can't.
What the hell was that? I said I had a score. I didn't say
what else do we got for questions, guys? I like hearing your questions. I have more stuff on my list. If you guys don't have any more questions, we've been talking for about an hour now, and I'm happy to just keep talking. I know I've repeated a couple stories already, which is kind of a no-no in YouTube time, but I guess I'll talk about paying for college and working during college. So I work half-time, sometimes more than half-time, and so do a lot of my friends. People that I hang out with, people that are in my classes, a lot of them work half-time, some don't even work full-time. My girlfriend works 30 hours a week, I think. Then the police officer's right there.
Hey, look, I know I seem like a hothead and an idiot. I am a hothead and a bit of an idiot. But I
where am I going? Okay, what was this? Oh, working during college. So it can be a problem if your parents haven't saved up money for you for college, which some parents save up all the way for their kids, some parents don't. And that's, you know, that's your family dynamics, that's up to them. But if they didn't save for you, and you're not a super straight-A student getting lots of scholarships, it can be hard to pay for school, which means you're going to have to get student loans and or work during school. It's hard to work through school and be able to pay everything, especially with how tuition and stuff is going up every year. But if you are going to work and go to school, make sure that working isn't completely compromising your school, or else literally what you're doing is you're working hard to pay for something, but your work is undermining it. So if you're not able to get, usually the standard is you have to get C's in your major. So if you're in like political science in my case, you have to get C's in your political science classes in order for those classes to count. Which is a little bit of a higher standard than an F, obviously. So if you can't pull C's because you're working too hard, that's a problem and you need to do something about that. Let's use a waypoint. Oh, we just need to go across the little bay or whatever, right? See if we can get a boat. Oh, is it time for the heist already? What is that marker? Submersible. Oh, let's go. I guess there's no boats here. We're just gonna swim. Paying for college. So lots of places will have scholarships. You can get scholarships if you're in sports, if you are a very good student. You have to be a pretty good student to get scholarships anymore for merit. If you're a minority, if your parents are poor, if sometimes if you're a girl who does something unique like engineering, you can get scholarships. So if you have those kind of special circumstances, like if your parents are poor and you are a minority, if you're a minority girl playing basketball whose parents are poor, you basically can get your college paid for through scholarship. If you're more in the majority in all of those categories, you will have to work a lot harder to get scholarships because a lot of times, like especially if your parents, that's one thing that a lot of my friends run into is their parents didn't save for them, but their parents made reasonable money. So their parents made good money and didn't save, but now they're not qualified for any of the need-based scholarships, which means that they have to, work their way through school or get loans because those scholarships aren't available for them. Something to keep in mind, maybe if you're in high school, you could even start saving a little bit now to make it easier on yourself later. A lot of kids work through high school, and instead of, buying GTA V and every other thing that sounds fun to you because right now all of your income is disposable income, maybe save a little, put a little away, and that'll have you have an easier time in college. About student loans, be careful because it's really easy to just pile up the student loans, and before you know it, you have $50,000 or $60,000 worth, and then you're in trouble because the interest, unlike back in the day where interest didn't start right away or payments didn't start right away, a lot of loans now, interest starts right away and payments start right away. Some of them still have deferred interest, but that's rough. And there will be a lot of jobs for you in the minimum wage job category, working food services, working customer service, stuff like that. You can get a job in high school or in college pretty easily because there's a lot of places around there to serve the college students, obviously. Lots of stores and restaurants. What am I trying to be stealthy? Is that what's going on right now? Go up here. I don't know if I really need to go up here, but I can't go up here. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Oh.
Whoa, you need to go. Can you please?
Okay, I'll go. I'm sorry. I'm leaving. With the caps lock. STDs, yeah, that's honestly something that you do need to worry about if you're gonna be sleeping around. Just be safe. It's not that hard to be safe. Do it. It's worth it. You owe it to yourself. There are a lot of whores in college. Like, it'll become obvious to you right away which girls are serious about school and which ones are just there to party. And a lot of girls at college basically will do the minimum amount of work to get their C's and pass because their parents are paying for school, and as long as they're holding down the minimum grades, they are able to continue with their party. So that's... a lot of girls will be like that. And, they can be fun. They can also be... maybe, I don't know, maybe they're not worth your time for a long-term relationship. That's up to you. But some girls then will be... they won't be as easy to see around because they're going to be focused on school.
Trevor? Floyd.
I'm not really sure how to go.
We talked about. You gotta help me store it for a few days. Floyd.
So, if you're adopted, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff.
Well, we both know what I'm talking about.
If you have special circumstances, if you trying to think of other situations you can get scholarships for. Pretty much anything that if you're the first person in your family to go to college, there's a lot of scholarships.
The union man
Stuff like that.
Work.
What else were we talking about? So be careful with that.
Hey, we're not hurting
Other questions? Or sleep with the teacher? Nah, that's a bad plan. Let's see.
Do some research.
Am I going the right way?
Security consulting friend.
I might not be going the right way. I might be going literally into the... Can I get through here, you think? Just give me a nice little driving directions.
Human rights offenses if the U.S. government didn't protect all its contracts.
So yeah, be careful with all that.
Military.
Applying for college, that's one thing we didn't talk about. This probably should be one of the first things.
They behave like they are.
If you're a senior in high school, applying for college should be one of your priorities right now. You need to start thinking about it. Early applications are usually in November and December, and that is a good thing to do. It doesn't hurt. Is this really a blocked off?
So we are going to enjoy shitting on them.
Oh, great. Well, look forward to that.
Okay.
Can I not get through here? Oh no, I can't up here. So you should start applying because early applications do get priority to a lot of schools. So if you had a school in mind that maybe is just outside your reach, if you apply early, sometimes that can give you the extra little bump to get in. Your GPA and your ACT, SAT scores will matter for getting into schools, obviously, but your essays are a big part of it as well. A lot of schools will just have like a minimum, and as long as you meet their minimum, everything else past that is just decided on essays and like however charismatic you are in your essay. For some reason I feel like this should popped up. No, we're still good. Okay. So keep that in mind. It's time to start applying for colleges if you haven't already and you're a senior in high school. Another thing is, don't let your bad grades in high school discourage you from going to college, or if you feel like you can't pay for it or whatever. Don't let that discourage you too much from going to college, because if you can't afford to go to college, you can always go your first year to community college. If your grades were bad, you can always go your first year to community college. If your grades were good but you can't afford it, well, a lot of times there's student loans you can get, or a job you can get. There's always a way to do it if you're motivated. Just be motivated and get through it. I think we're getting pretty close to done with this. I have one more thing. The only other thing I really wanted to talk about was gaming and college and how you can kind of work those two in with each other, because you do need to be careful with that a little bit. Like the stream if you are enjoying it. That always helps out my channel. I do appreciate it. And let your friends know about this video if you think they'd be interested in it. I know this has been a little bit long at this point. We're going on an hour and 20 minutes. But I feel like it's kind of conversational and it's hopefully reasonably fun to listen to. I know a lot of people want to hear about girls and stuff, and I talked about that some, but parties. A lot of times Thursday night are the nights, like drinking nights in college towns for some reason. I don't even know the history behind that or anything else. Thursday nights are big drinking nights and party nights and everything else. Well, if you have a Friday night class, don't go out and get wasted Thursday night, because you're going to be hungover the next day and you're going to hate it and it's going to be awful. So, I mean, just be smart. That's all it comes down to. If you're going to party, don't put yourself in bad situations. Usually the bigger the party is, the bigger chance it has of getting busted and getting you a ticket. So maybe stay away from big parties. Keep it a little bit smaller with more intimate friends. If you are going to drink, which, you know, only drink if you're of legal age, of course. Because we don't endorse that here at Ohaple's channel. But if you are going to do that kind of thing, make sure you're going to smaller events with people you trust. Don't overdo it. It's really easy to overdo it if you're partying. I know a lot of the stuff I've been talking about sounds like a real downer, like, you know, don't party too much, you know, don't eat all the junk food at the dorm, don't sleep around with all the slutty girls all the time. And it seems like it's a little bit of a downer, but honestly, it's more of, by just following some simple rules like that, you can allow yourself to have a lot more fun time. Yeah, we are really concealing that. Okay. By following those simple rules, maybe you don't need to sleep with every slut that you meet at a party, you know? if you just... Oh boy. If you just are a little bit careful in the things you do, if you maybe party occasionally, but you're careful about which parties you go to, stuff like that, you'll have a fun time, and actually probably a more fun time because you won't find yourself in those tight spots. And you'll be getting good grades, so that won't be something that you're worried about. Again, assuming that your goal is to get through college with a degree, with a career. One of the jokes is that a lot of girls go to college to get their MRS degree, and if you don't know what the MRS degree is, MRS is like Mrs. And MRS, that means basically that they're at college to meet guys, to meet their potential husband. So watch out for those girls. Don't get too into them too quick. Try not to get married, gosh, in college because you never know what's up there. And don't. Yeah, your caps lock was on the whole time. Ask some more questions, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up soon unless we get some more questions going, and you know that's fine either way. I'll wait a second because I know the stream has a delay, and then the comments probably have a delay.
If you're wrong, I'll
eat your sweetmeats.
Now get out of here.
I don't want him to eat my sweetmeats. But like I said, a lot of this stuff sounds like a downer. Like, you know, don't do this, don't do that. Like I'm trying to lecture you or be a parent or something. But like friend to friend, it really is the kind of thing that you just owe for yourself, because if you take care of yourself, if you make some good decisions, it'll help you have a lot more fun throughout your whole experience. Usually the tendency is to just party your ass off freshman year, and then what happens is a lot of the people that are sophomores, juniors, seniors, once you become legal drinking age, once you've been in college a while and you're used to the routine, people just stop caring about that kind of stuff, and it wears away. And if you've already gotten yourself into some kind of trouble early on, then you kind of wasted the rest of your opportunity there. And of course, you can come back from almost anything. Oh, why open the door? There we go. Or close the door. We're gonna head over to B, I suppose. Were you ever, or have you seen a fight? I've seen several fights at college. I've not been in a fight at college. I've been in a fight outside of college, but that was when I was quite a bit younger. So, you know, it wasn't like super serious because we were in our early teens. So, but yeah, there's fights that happen in college, and almost always it's it's surrounding alcohol because people just do dumb shit when they're drunk. So, you know, that's another thing, is that people get into dumb fights, and what you see happen, what you hear happen all the time is that like people will go get drunk, and then they'll get in a fight with one of their good friends, or they'll like cheat on someone because they're drunk and they weren't really thinking clearly, or they'll just like destroy someone's property, and it ends up ruining some friendships sometimes, and it's just a bummer.
Chips and dip and prostitutes.
So yeah, but that's all I got for you guys for college stuff. Keep asking questions. Again, ask text questions in the comments section. Even after this stream is done, I will always respond to my text comments as soon as I can read them. Let's see. Hey, yep, Warzel, I'm still doing the Q&A. You came at the right time, buddy. We were just about ready to wrap it up if we didn't get more questions, but now that you're here, we might get some more questions out of you.
Oh, absolutely.
We've been going for about an hour and a half, so I know that 98% of the people that are watching this after the fact aren't going to get this far in. Hey, if you did, leave me a comment letting me know you made it this far. I do appreciate it. I like to see who my hardcore fans are. And if you've watched me this long and you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing. I think you'd like some of my other content as well.
Because I was told that if we helped out with that thing, which we did, then our past indiscretions would be forgotten in a haze of patriotic fervor.
Who told you that? Did I tell you that? I'm in charge here, Fruity. Me! You understand?
Not quite. Well, can you explain that again?
What I was saying!
Am I the only one talking?
Oh, you're...
The 4 other people watching need to talk. Yeah!
Listen.
Well, there's 6 people watching, so...
Something else.
Let's get it going. Like the stream if you're not already.
Some of it is pretty corrupt.
Ask me some questions. Let me tweet it out one more time. Let them get in on it.
Right?
Yes, but we're corrupt in a good way.
But the agency, they
well, Nardog
so
is
their budget.
not
That's how they get
with me, or not on stream right now, but he is asking me a question via text.
Funds.
So,
we need to use in our fight against crime as a way of
he asks, what is the most what is one of the most interesting things that has happened to you in college? So freshman year is where all the interesting things happen because you're living in the dorms with a bunch of people and people are just acting crazy for fun.
We need you boys.
At one point, freshman year, so there was this kind of group of 4 people, and me and my girlfriend, and my girlfriend's roommate, and her kind of on again, off again love interest at the time was, we were all hanging out, the 4 of us, and he was kind of he was trying to impress her, it seemed like, so he kept doing silly stuff, you know how guys sometimes do, they end up, you know, will do immature things to try to impress a girl. So he was kind of doing that kind of stuff, and somehow it got to the point where we were all really tired, it was like 1 in the morning, and he ended up, like, dressing in cardboard boxes like a robot. And I forgot he like named himself something, and I know this seems kind of lame, but he put
we're gold.
Was the
hope like
elephant
agency men that don't carry a panic button with them.
Oh.
We deal with it.
He put like, you know, the pump bottles of hand sanitizer. He taped one to where his nipples would be on each side, and like he ran through the dorms and he would, like, get into the lobby where there's, like, a front desk and stuff, and there'd be people, like, playing ping pong and stuff because there was tables there and air hockey and stuff. People were hanging up, he'd just run up to him and just, like, squirt him with his hand sanitizer nipples. And I don't know why that just tickled me so much, but I thought it was so funny. Probably my immature sense of humor. And we saw Earth, Wind, and Fire. That was fun. One of the first weekend I was really at college. Me and my girlfriend and my roommate and her roommate all went downtown, and there was a free concert with Earth, Wind, and Fire. If you don't know them, they're like, what genre are they? Like funk and soul, I guess. They did September. You've probably heard some of their songs. And we saw them, and that was a good time. But it was pretty funny because all the guys around us, it was this group of people that were like late 20s, and they had all brought flasks, and they were all getting hammered and high. And honestly, we couldn't even see the stage because there were so many people there. We couldn't even see the stage. We could barely hear. But we just spent the whole time watching. What are these HSs? But we just spent the whole time watching these like 4 or 5 kind of hippie-ish people around us just getting wasted, and it was quite honestly a highlight. It was a lot of fun, and that was actually one of the first kind of date-ish things that me and my girlfriend did. Cannot be used as a getaway vehicle. Okay, good news for you. Okay. Yeah, he was pretty cool. We had some good times together. What would end up happening actually a lot of times is we would all hang out, and we'd be hanging out so late in my girlfriend in her apartment that the 4 of us would end up just like, sometimes we'd just wake up the next morning like not having done anything like bad per se. We would just like, do I need to get a new car or something? Is that what they're talking about? But sometimes we would just... I'm late on that triple, aren't I? You better duck. We would... What is the word I'm looking for? Oh, we would just like wake up sometimes and find out that we had all like passed out on the floor of my girlfriend's room watching a movie or something. So it was kind of... There's some fun stuff like that. Do I have money? Okay.
Makes you proud to be an American.
That was all kind of fun stuff. And, like, what was some of the other good stuff that we did? Mission passed, yeah! Gosh, I'm trying to think of other crazy stuff that happened. Well, so, talking about gaming and going to college, you can probably, your parents will probably let you bring your Xbox along. Assuming they're like most parents. Isn't nearest. Let's use my GPS or whatever. You'll probably have your Xbox and maybe a small TV or a monitor. And you'll be able to, at the very least, have a laptop to play games on. And it might be tempting to go and play games all the time, but video games are kind of a weird one because I know we all have fun playing together online and everything else, but you gotta be careful with it in college because, especially your freshman year, if you just sit in and play video, like if you're in my clan, for instance, and you're just sitting in your room, in your dorm room, playing with the clan all the time your freshman year, you're not gonna be making friends. And it's not because you're not likable, it's because you're not putting yourself out there. And so, playing games can be fun, but I would encourage you to maybe be careful with online gaming right away in your freshman year, and do a lot of gaming with like old school couch gaming, like you probably used to do when you were a kid. Bring those old gaming systems, your PS2, your Nintendo 64, and pass the controller back and forth. Do stuff like that. It becomes a lot more social, and it can actually be a way for you to make friends rather than like seclude yourself. So, for instance, one thing we did that was a lot of fun. What am I supposed to get here? Is that all I need to do? Did I win? Okay. I don't really know what I was supposed to do here. But oh, so I was gonna share that story with you. It was a lot of fun. So Dead Space came out my freshman year, I think, or maybe it was already out and it was on sale. But it came out. We got it on Xbox. And what we did was we had a blast. We had a couple girls over from our dorm
for this masquerade
building, our hall. And so we had a couple girls over, my girlfriend, me and my roommate, and like one other guy. And we'd shut off all the lights and do Dead Space, but we would do it, you know, all the girls weren't interested in playing. And so they would just sit there, and the three of us would, like, if you know Dead Space, if you play on hard difficulty, you can tend to run out of ammo and die. Especially, you know how I play video games, I die about every 5 minutes, so every time you die, we would pass the controller. And so it gave us an opportunity that, you know, everyone would be watching it like it was a movie, and one person would be having fun playing, and then you'd trade the controller, and you'd get to hang out with some girls, hang out with new friends, and just have a great time of it. So doing stuff like that, like, that's one of my best memories from freshman year, honestly, and it was over something as dumb as, like, just playing Dead Space with some people in my room at night. But it did make some good friends, some good memories, and we all had a blast with it. So just keep that kind of stuff in mind. Don't be so... One thing that freshmen tend to do, and I'm sure I was like this, most freshmen are... Where am I going? Saying... Oh boy. That's one way to go, I guess. Upright yourself. Let's go. Oh, am I trapped? Oh, no, I'm not. Most freshmen think they're the shit. You probably remember it from high school. When you were a freshman in high school, you probably thought you were the shit. And now, if you're a little bit further on... Wow, why can't I... feel like I'm in Austin Powers right now. Okay, let's... No! Okay. Don't you think this is getting a little bit ridiculous? I can't get out of here. What was I talking about? There we go. I'll talk about the roommate selection process in a minute. What were we talking about? Playing games. We had some fun. Do that. Play games with your friends. In real life, not online, if you can help it. Obviously, sometimes you'll just want some downtime, and you'll want to play Call of Duty Ghosts with your friends online, with your clan or your buddies, whatever. Friends from home. It's a good way to keep in touch with your friends from home if you moved away for college. But by playing with people in the same room, you can have a lot of fun. The other game we played was... Oh, what was it called? Why can't I remember what it's called? What do I need? Kick this guy's ass? Okay, what was the game called? It was called... Let me look at it. I have the case right next to me. Bulletstorm. The game was called Bulletstorm. If you don't remember it, it did very poorly in reviews and stuff. but it was one of the shortest games I ever bought. But you can get like 20 bucks or less now on Xbox 360. It was super fun. It was super cinematic, but it was a very short game. We'd play games like that. He'd play like Fantasy Star Dynasty, or I don't even know what the game was called. Fantasy Star Warriors or Fantasy Star 8, or I don't remember what the game was called. I didn't play it at all. I never played those games, but he would play those kind of games, and they were single-player games, and he wouldn't play them with other people, my roommate. And it ended up that he'd just play those games on his own, and it kind of seemed lonely to me. Alright, so Warzel asked, dude, I'm the best driver you ever met. But Warzel asked, how's the roommate selection process work? I think it depends on which school you go to. But the way it worked at my place was you get randomly matched unless you already know someone. So it just means that you're going to get matched with somebody who's of similar age and of similar... Sometimes they try to match you based on interests. Almost like you would a dating profile or something. But you usually don't get a pick. Sometimes you'll be allowed to pick, but the thing is, if you're going to a college that is not in your hometown, a lot of times you won't know a lot of people there. Some people roomed with people that they knew in high school. Some people roomed with complete strangers, like I did. And I would say that it seemed like the people that roomed with people that they already knew from high school, it almost ended up like ruining their friendship. Like they started to resent each other. Yet the people that lived with strangers became better friends and still kept their high school friends. So if I were to make a recommendation, I would say, unless you just have someone that you know you really want to live with, don't just pick someone because you already know them. If they're your best friend, live with them. I mean, by all means. But if it's just someone you're kind of casual acquaintances with, it'd be better for you to pick someone random, because you probably have noticed that when you are with someone random, there's kind of an element where like you tiptoe around them a little bit more, where you wouldn't say the same things to a stranger that you would maybe say to one of your close friends, and vice versa. So that makes it a little bit easier to live with someone, surprisingly, because you're both being a little bit more courteous. If you're living with someone that you know already fairly well, maybe they want to have a fish tank, and their fish tank is starting to smell because they aren't cleaning it. Well, they will have no problems telling you where you can go shove it if you want them to clean their fish tank, because they already know you. If it's somebody that you don't know well, and you say, hey, you know, could you clean your fish tank? Hey, could you take out the garbage? Hey, could you do something? Then, oh, this isn't a pickpocket mission? Then I don't care. Then usually they'll do it just because, you know, you're trying to be a little more courteous of each other since you don't know each other already. So that can be a good thing. Keep that in mind about the roommate selection process. What else you got for me? Am I still in college? Yes, I am still in college. Only for another 3 months, though. I'm graduating this December, so I'm graduating a semester early, but I am still in college. Almost done with it. So I can give you guys advice on everything except for graduation. But my GPA, my GPA is pretty good. I'm not going to give out specifics, but my GPA is good. I've done good in school. I feel like I've done pretty well socially, but I kind of not taken my own advice in some ways, where I talked about not playing too many online games. Once I moved out of the dorms and into the apartment, that's something that I could talk to you guys about, is apartment life. Most of the time, people will have to live in apartments after they move out of the dorms, because usually the dorms are only for 1 year, and even when they're more than a year, you don't want to live there because it's like so expensive. Oh, that's not the person I want to shoot. You won't want to live there anymore just because they're so expensive. So you'll go get an apartment, and in that case, you do get to pick who you live with. And apartment life's even a little bit different yet, because it's more like living on your own completely. You don't have RAs to settle disputes. You don't have to be in the same room with your roommate if you don't want, because you have your own bedroom. Stuff like that. It's really nice. That changes a little bit. And that's where I'm at right now. I can give you... Okay, was it... Okay, yes. It was super awkward the first night or so, because it's like... It's almost like you're it almost feels like you're on a first date or something, you know. And you ever been to like the end of a first date, and it's like, good night, you know, you don't even know what to say anymore, really, because it's like an awkward goodbye. That's kind of how the first night feels, because it's like, chances are the first night, either one of you will be out partying, and the other one will go to bed while you're gone, or vice versa, you'll go to bed while they're gone, or you'll be going to bed at the same time. And the weird thing about that is, it's kind of like, alright, good night, oh yeah, is it okay if I leave my fan on, and oh, I have an alarm set for 8 o'clock in the morning, I hope that doesn't bother you. And like, it's almost like one of those really awkward first date goodbyes, spending that first night with someone. And some people I know had a hard time sleeping for a while, because it really is awkward. Gonna turn this truck around, hopefully without falling off the cliff. Uh-oh. I don't think it has the juice. Should we just go for it? Just ramp it up that other side? Let's do it. Let's half pipe it. Oh, that didn't go very good. It was really awkward, but it wasn't undoable. I mean, if you... It's like one of those things that dorms are the kind of thing that I'm very glad I lived in the dorms and had those experiences. Would I do it now? Hell no. It was like the best, worst living situation you could ever imagine. It's like all of the most uncomfortable things ever and all of the most fun things ever. How can I even get out of this little area? All the most fun things ever and the most uncomfortable things ever, all like jammed into one. So you're having fun times all the time, and then awkward times, and then fights with people, and then just craziness. And it's not super comfortable. I mean, it sucks to share a tiny, tiny room with one person that you don't even know that well. So keep that in mind. How can I get off of this? Apparently I can't. I guess I'm gonna have to go down here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't drown the truck, hopefully. Is this the sub? Oh, I'm dead? Mission failed. It was destroyed. Oh, okay. If any of you guys who have made it this far, which there's not many of you probably, but if you're interested, you can contact I'm Banned Again. He's in the comments section. And we have Ice Gaming Clan is having its own crew. So you can go and... What was I saying? You can contact I'm Banned Again to get an invite for the crew for GTA 5 when GTA 5 Online comes live October 1st, I think it is. So keep that in mind. And no. Don't make this awkward. Oh, I need to reload, don't I? No, I don't need to reload. Aren't they even picking up garbage? Oh my gosh, I'm the worst at this. Actually, it probably would have been a bad idea to shoot that person because they would have driven right into me. It's Warzel, I'd suggest that you go back and watch most of the stream afterwards because I already covered things like getting good grades. I know you missed that, but it's not hard to get good grades. You just have to go to class. That was my main tip, was go to class even though it's uncomfortable. Do what it takes. Just go to class every time. Have you even ever been, I assume you mean ever been pranked while you're asleep? No. My roommate was very courteous and I was very courteous of him in return. That's the kind of thing that I would suggest you don't do to your roommates in college, because it's a little bit of a thing, like, if you can imagine, like, somebody pranks you in your sleep, it then goes to the point where you can never be comfortable when you sleep anymore, because you know that you're sleeping next to the person, you never know what they're going to do to you, and it just makes it uncomfortable to sleep, and it's an uncomfortable environment that you set up if you do that. So I'd recommend not pranking people in their sleep. If you want to prank people while they're awake, that's one thing. And that's all in good fun as long as you keep it reasonable. But pranking people in their sleep can be bad news. At least, like, if you want to prank them in their sleep, like setting their alarm early or something, okay, whatever. But if you want to, like, do the shaving cream trick, or take their cell phone and hide it, or do stuff like that, people get weird ideas of how to do pranks, and they will end up... It just ends up making them uncomfortable when they sleep, and vice versa. Okay. I guess I should lose these cops. I already ate. Hey, I'm going through here, can't you see? It's not the speediest car I've ever seen. Thank you for giving me a boost. What else you guys got? 4 questions, or else we'll be done. Keep asking as long as you keep having them, and I'm gonna, for those of you guys that are on my clan, I'm gonna hop on Xbox once I'm done here, which will be fairly soon, and we can play some rounds together and have a good time. And we can talk a little bit more. I can maybe share some more funny stories with you guys. Oh, that's the backtracking goodness. Yeah, because some of the stories I don't really want to share on YouTube because they're kind of sketch-tastic. Get out the way!
That was entirely
yeah, it was.
Your fault.
I think I might be going away from my objective at this point. I'm doing a lot worse this time at evading the police. Maybe I can go up here and they'll lose me. No? Come on, you can't keep up with this. No, you don't. You don't have a visual? I wouldn't be afraid, like, to live with someone. I would just be wary. Usually they're courteous and they'll be nice and good and you won't have any problems. But there were some people that had bad roommates where there'd be one guy who was very studious and he just wanted to do his homework and kind of be left alone. And the other guy was always wanting to party, and so he would always have people over. And I've had that happen to me as well, where it's like, I've got a test tomorrow, I want to get to sleep, and it's like you'll be sleeping and you'll wake up and randomly there will be like 7 people in your room. And it feels really weird because it's like, well, this is where all my stuff is. Like, my laptop's sitting right there. I don't know what's going to get stolen while I'm asleep because my roommate's letting people in. Not to mention, I don't even know half these people, and I don't trust them around me while I'm sleeping. It can become uncomfortable like that, but if you just are open and upfront with your roommate and talk about that kind of thing and say, you know, that doesn't make me comfortable when you do that, then you can minimize those. And if it gets really bad, you always have the RA to go to, but usually use the RA as a very, very last resort because people tend to look down on people that go straight to the RA as kind of a snitch or a tattletale, or, you know, then that's not good either. Alright, so that's a little bit about that for you. What else do you got? Let's YouTube some people. Alright. I guess I'm done with this stream. I feel like I'm just dragging it on for the sake of dragging it on at this point. I'm going to get to this objective here and call it a day. Look at these identical cars. Now they're done. But what they're talking about, I might post this to YouTube if we get a good one. What we're doing is we're going on, and it's kind of a troll, I guess. I don't know. We're going on Xbox Live, and we'll get in the lobby, and when someone joins, we'll be like, "Oh my God, is that you?" Oh look, Voltic. I did a video about that. But, "Oh my God, is that you? I've seen you on YouTube. You've got like 10,000 subscribers. Oh my gosh, I've seen all your videos." And you just act like you're all excited to see them, and then we act like, sorry about that. Then we act like, "Oh wait, it's not actually you, is it? You're just a such and such fanboy," and we try to get him to leave. Like, "Leave, fanboy," and we actually have gotten a few people to leave doing that. And it's kind of funny. I don't know. It just tickles our fancy. We're gonna maybe post a video of that. If you guys haven't seen them, oh man, I should have done that jump in the dump truck. That would have been sweet. Or not the dump truck, the trash truck. A couple shout outs for you guys. Micraz in the chat, he's got a YouTube channel called The Game Ninjas. TheGameNinjaz. The Z instead of an S. And they put out good content. There's actually a couple people on that channel. They put out GTA content. They put out Call of Duty content. Go check them out. There's one more person I was going to give a shout out to, and I've forgotten his YouTube channel. Maybe I'll post it in the description of the video, so look down there for some of my recommended channels. That's about all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. This was just a little bit that, you know, I probably talk about Woody's Gamertag more than I talk about myself in my own videos, but, you know, I watch Woody's Gamertag videos and I kind of think, like, you know, it's really neat that he's helping some people out, And I thought that this is one area where I might be able to give you guys some advice. I know a lot of you guys are younger, and if I can give you guys some advice on college and maybe it changes your experience a little, that's a win for me, and so that's kind of why I wanted to do this. And it gives me a topic to talk about. You know, it's not always fun to just say, alright, well, I'm driving the trash truck, and now we're going to go ahead and make a left turn, and we're doing the objective here for the submarine mission. We're getting it all prepped so we can go steal some stuff. Like, that gets boring after a while, so I like to have a topic to talk about. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this as much as I enjoyed doing it for you. We are going to... Hey, he beat my high score in the story mission mini-sub. Cool. Good for you, FSD. If you ever see this. But I think that's all we're going to do for tonight. Yes, youtube.com/TheGameNinjas. They post regularly. They post good stuff. That's kind of, I almost consider it like a secondary channel for Ice Gaming. Like, my channel is kind of the primary channel for Ice Gaming, but he does a series called Funny Times with Ice or Good Times with Ice or something like that. I think it's a Sunday series or a Saturday series. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But they just take he just takes funny moments of us playing pubs or game battles or League or whatever we're playing, takes some funny moments and does a short 30-second to 3-minute clip of it. And it's a good series. Sometimes there's funny moments in that, so go check that out if you're interested to see more like that from me. Like the stream if you made it this far. If you made it this far, you must really love me, so you should like that stream and you should click that sub button. And if you are interested in trying out for our clan that we've talked about, you can, if you want to try out for our crew for GTA 5 Online, contact I'm Banned Again, spelled just how it sounds, I-M space B-A-N-N-E-D space A-G-A-I-N, on Xbox Live. He's the one that needs to send you the invite, not me. And if you're interested in joining our Xbox Live clan for Call of Duty, you can go to ohaple.mequos.com. That'll be in the description of the video under my social links. And there is an Apply Here page. Go ahead and check out the About Ice Gaming page to find out about our requirements and kind of what we're about. And then you can go to the Apply Here page and fill out the application, and that will send me an email and we can get you a tryout. I hope that this all finds you guys doing well. I enjoyed doing it, like I said before, and I'm kind of rambling at this point, so let's just call it a day. I think we're prepped for this submission, so that'll probably be the next stream. In fact, I'll probably title it, that'll be like Submarine Mission, look how good I am at driving, that'll be the subtitle. Look at that, those are some sweet LED headlights. Anyways, bye. I'm going to end it now. Ending it. Oh, Micraz says he posts the Fun Times with Ice at Saturday at noon Central. So go check that out on his channel. He's a good guy. He's got a good channel. And I will talk to you guys later. Check out some of my other videos. I got more like this coming and in the past.